I know it's been a minute since I've done these, videos, but I decided that I wanted to do one today because I was just talking to someone and, I was reminiscing over the 90s, and I said to myself, you know what? If I could go back to the 90s, would I go back? And the answer would be no. And the reason why is because I couldn't get to be myself. I couldn't, express myself the way that I can express myself in 2020. Hell, look at me. I'm wearing this pink shirt. I couldn't have done that in the 90s. You understand? I couldn't have been this creative person and just this outgoing person that can express himself the way that I can, and no one judges me in the 90s. I couldn't, there's no way possible I could have done that. In the 90s, I had to be hardcore. I had to pretend like I was hard. I had to pretend like I was this tough guy, whatever have you, and that, I didn't have feelings and emotions. But that's how the 90s, groomed us. You always had to live life on the edge, and it's like, there's no possible way I would want to do that anymore. Why would I want to go to clubs on a weekend, every weekend, and at the end of the club, they shooting out and I gotta duck behind cars? Like, that's no fun. At that point in time, I was young. You see what I'm saying? So I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool and interesting to be in a shootout. And it's crazy to, me reflecting back. It's crazy that we lived like that. You understand? Like, I remember one time I went to this Jamaican club off of Flatbush, right? Flatbush Avenue. And I'm not lying. I think I've told this story before, if I'm not mistaken. Went to the club, seen this dude in a wheelchair, had on all white, from head to toe. And there's two goons right beside him, right? So, make the long story short, he starts to talk to this one dude. The dude is on some like, please stop, no, such and such. I don't know whether the dude owed the guy in the wheelchair money or whatever have you. I don't know what it was. It was just from afar. Plus, they was playing reggae music and all of that. You know how the reggae clubs go. They play all reggae music, and then like 30 minutes towards like the end, they start playing American music. But anyway, so the goons wind up grabbing them, and they all walked out. I say about 20 minutes later, right? Dude in the wheelchair comes in, and I guess he's known. His shirt is bloodied up. And everybody's pretending like they don't see this. And then at the end of the club, we were walking, and somebody said, but the boy, something yelled out. And next thing you know, they was like, gunshots. And we had to run to the train. Who would want to live like that, man? You know what our motto was? Fuck the world, don't ask me for shit. We had t-shirts that said that. It was just a very dangerous time. You understand? Like, I remember this dude I was cool with named Rude Boy. I never forget this, right? He had on some Gore-Tex boots. Now, for those that know about Gore-Tex boots, that's strictly for like hiking, or if you're climbing up a mountain or something like that. And the Gore-Tex boots that he had was made specifically they were like mountain climber boots, right? Because on the side, it was like a metal piece that stuck out, and you could twist it, and spikes would come out of the sole of the shoe. And he was like explaining to us how he bought these shoes specifically to stomp somebody out. Like, it was just horrible, man. And then like when you I don't, by all means, I don't promote drugs on my channel, but I'm just telling you just how it was. So like, in 2020, if you smoke weed and you high and shit, and you laughing and you bugging out, you geeking, it's okay. It's okay. You couldn't do that in the 90s. You had to pretend that you weren't high, even though you were high as hell. Do you know how many times I was in a room full of dudes high as hell, and I'm saying, there's no way in the world that I could smoke anymore. But they passing the blunt to me. It's a Fontu leaf. It's rolled in a Fontu leaf. The Fontu leaf is the blunt is this big. I pull it. I'm gone. And then it's like, you know, you get in your moments where you start laughing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at the wall and I'm trying to understand, why does the wall look so funny? But I can't, I'm like, because I gotta maintain my composure, because these dudes are looking at me. And if I start laughing, then I'm not cool. Then they probably gonna kick me out. I'm a cornball. So for those that want to experience the 90s, like, you know, you millennials that, you know, listen to 90s music and, you know, think that the 90s era was just the shit. Yeah, it was, but it came with some baggage. And that baggage was, you had to, if you wasn't hardcore, you had to pretend to be. Like, yo man, people, listen, I know Tim boots are a trend. I know it. You know, I did a video about Tim boots and I got cursed out by the New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you? You know, but I know we were wearing it. It was trendy, but also people were buying Tim boots to stomp niggas out. It's just that plain and simple. For real. Like, we were just some violent people. We were. I'm not gonna say me. I mean, I wasn't cutting anybody or stabbing anybody or nothing like that. But our era, we were just. I rocked a razor here and there in my mouth. I'll admit that. It wasn't nothing for a dude to rock a razor in your mouth. You going in the club, you know what I'm saying? You rock the razor in your mouth. You know, that it's just that plain and simple. I don't know if you all are familiar, millennials, if you all familiar with when you listen to these 90s rappers like, you know, Mobb Deep and you know, Noriega, Nas, or somebody, or Wu-Tang or something, and when they say $150, they talking about cutting you from here all the way down. Period. It was just violent, man. It's just violence for no reason. You know, and I don't believe in God, but for the sake of saying, God forbid if you smile. If you smiled, like, go back and look at all of the pictures of the 90s of people that took pictures, like rappers, celebrities, they never smiled. Everybody had that grimy face. And it's just that part of the 90s, I'm glad that it's over. Now I can be this hippie type dude. I can be a vegetarian and it's 90 degrees outside and I can wear flip-flops and wear this pink shirt and not be judged. Whereas back in the days, oh man, I'm a village dude. For all you New Yorkers, y'all know what that means. I'm a village dude. Like, I remember this specific moment in time. It was like 93 in Jamaica, Queens, right? My man, I forgot his name, and me and him mad cool. We still cool to this day. Marlo, right? This is the 90s now. So, you know, we were coming from where were we coming from? I forgot we was coming. I think we was coming from August Martin High School. We was voting, right? I think I was like 19, 20, right? So this dude had came up to us and he was talking to us and everything, right? The dude was a regular dude. To me, he was mad cool, you know what I'm saying? But he was kind of like, he would fit in like in 2020, but definitely he wouldn't fit in the 90s. So the dude had long dreads. Now my hair is naturally brown like this. I don't put dyes in it or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But he had like the tips of his dreads was like light brown, like a yellowish, not blonde, but like yellowish, right? I mean, it's apparent that he dyed it, right? When he walked away, Marlo said, yo, don't talk to him anymore. He a village nigga. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Just cause he got the tips of his dreads dyed? But yeah, that's how it was, man. It was like, it wasn't just like that in the North. It was like that in the South too. You know, really it was worse in the South. Like, I do believe that in the North and the South, you have those type of guys that I'm about to mention. But I think it was way more prominent in the South than it was in the North. Even though it did happen in the North, I'm not gonna lie. But you had dudes get dressed up just to go to the club to shoot somebody. That's it. I'm dead ass serious. I know a dude that went out to shoot people or to knock somebody's chin off. Period. And I'm not saying it's not like that now, but it's definitely toned down. The 90s was rough, man. It really was. So for those that think that, oh, it was a moment in history, and you know, y'all had such good music and the culture and the this and the that, yeah, it was that. But then it was also like, he gonna get me on this one, but I'm gonna say you also had Pretty Rickies walking around, sticking up people. When y'all meet Pretty Ricky, y'all gonna be like, man, this dude, he did A, B, and C. Man, Langston, you capping. No. Let me tell you something. I'll say this. When I met him, he was like that. When I met him, and he was trying to get me to sell guns for him. That's how I met him. Let me take it back. We met each other at work. And I ain't gonna lie, I was down and out. And he was like, well, yo, I can help you. You know, you could just sell guns for me. That's how we met. But when you meet him, and as you get to hear his stories, if he chooses to be on camera, you'll start to see that everything that he talks about as far as his life and his experience in the 90s is 100% legit true. You know, and there's no capping over here. Absolutely not. So yeah, you had short Pretty Ricky's. he told me, like, he was like, yo, every morning when I would get up, I think he said he would listen to, whatchamacallit, Annie Up. No, not Annie Up. I think it was Annie Up. Let me know, Pretty Ricky, in the comment section. I think it was Annie Up or the other one. How about some hardcore? I think it was, and the other one was Mobb Deep. Which one? Which song? I forgot what song, but he'll let y'all know. He said it was a routine. Every morning he would get up, he would get his gun, he would listen to this specific song before and that song would motivate him and get him hyped, and he'll go outside and rob people. So yeah, man, it was a rough time. You know, a rough time. I mean, you know, New York was Brownsville was horrible. You know, New Jersey, they were known. They did a movie on carjacking called New Jersey Drive. Atlanta was the same way. Washington D.C. the murder rate was up around then. Like, it was just, you know, and then like then gang culture started to come into New York. So I'll never forget it. I was at Broadway Junction, and I think I was on a J train, and this dude, I had on like a red Tommy Hilfiger shirt, and he was like, yo, what set you claiming or something? He was ready to fuck me up. I mean, I'm not no blood. I'm just, the Hilfiger shirt was hot, and I decided I want to get it. But yeah, man, it was like that. It was like that. You couldn't stare at someone, but certain areas is still like that. You couldn't stare at someone for like a long period of time. If you stared at that person for like more than 2 seconds, you was gonna get fucked up. And then another thing too is when you said what's up, like, I don't think Southerners know about this, but when you in New York, I don't know if the culture's changed, but if you tell a dude what's up, he's like, what's up? Meaning that it's gonna be a problem. You may say what's up like, hey, how you doing? He don't take it that way. He's saying what's up, like, you got something, you got beef? So yeah, man, people were getting their shit. Motherfuckers was running up, robbing motherfuckers. Like, it just was not a safe fucking era. It wasn't just piece of man was getting robbed. Everybody was getting robbed, shot, and killed. That plain and simple. I'm glad it's 2020 though, man. You know, Now this virus is killing us. You know. But yeah, man, I'm gonna do more stories, man. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this. My name is Langston2092. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share the video. Later. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Seriously, I forgot to say this too. Let's just say if in the 90s you were conscious, right? And you joined like one of the, black organizations, let's say the 5% Nation, right? So the 5%ers had, lessons. Those lessons were, you had to study, like how far is the sun away from the earth and how much does the earth weigh and etc. Right? So take for example, you're walking down the street, right? You see an older dude, right? Or you see a group of 5%ers, right? But they're brothers. They're older than you, but they're brothers, right? So you walk past them, they say, hey, yo, God, come here, son. What's today's mathematics? And if you did not know today's mathematics, you were getting stomped. That's just how it was. So let's just say you was a good kid and you didn't deal with the BS. You didn't go to the clubs and all the rest of that stuff, but you decided that you want to be about black power and you wanted to be conscious and you wanted to learn about your history and everything. And you chose the 5% Nation because, you wanted to be part of the nation of gods of the earth. There was consequences towards that. If you did not know today's mathematics, you were getting stomped. And that's my point. That's the reason why I'm glad that it is 2020 and not 1990. Y'all take it easy.